gone, which is a good thing because apparently they can be quite aggressive and sometimes attack people. So it's good that he was afraid of us. It was cool.
That was awesome!
We just ran out of gas. We have nothing.
The bike goes and choose in the comments below who impersonated a bike dying better, or C, you both did it very poorly. I started the bike one more time and I got an extra 50 yards out of it, and then it said dead.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, that was a lot of poor decisions all in a row. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of No Tears Frontiers, where my wife Marissa and I travel around the world on our KTM 1190.
We ride 2-up all over the world in South America, Central America, Africa, and now we are in Alaska. We had just been to the very most northern point in North America, which was Prudhoe Bay at the very top of Alaska. And now we are currently making our way back down. On our way up, we had almost run out of gas twice.
We did run out of gas once.
We ran out of gas. This has never happened to us before. Yes.
But I had my Rotopack, I have an extra gallon strapped onto my bike, which is awfully convenient, and so I filled it up. It's always good to know your limits of your motorcycle. I realized that mine was 234 miles. Through 233.9 miles. We rode all the way up to Prudhoe successfully after getting gas in Coldfoot, and then on the way back from Dead Horse, we were 15 miles outside of the town of Coldfoot and had camped at a place called Wiseman.
Today is the day that we are headed back to Fairbanks from Coldfoot, which means that it's the last day of our Prudhoe Bay journey from Fairbanks, and it's kind of like a homecoming back to a place of friends and security and amenities like restaurants and food and just things kind of being readily available like gasoline. It's a bit of a rainy day. It rained all night, but we're in a tent under a tent. So I don't think we got rained on too bad, but luckily it's let up now. So we're able to pack up hopefully without too much rain, which is excellent. And then we'll be on the road, but I do expect it to rain all day, and it's a little chilly today, so gonna bundle up. Now Wiseman is a town of 11 people.
And one of them, a temporary resident, was not a very wise man.
You?
Yeah!
Oh.
Good, she caught on. I think everyone else got it. 0.5 seconds later, there's Marissa.
Yes, you were a temporary
And I
resident.
was unwise.
And very unwise. Well, we figured that since we had gone from Coldfoot to Prudhoe Bay with enough gas, that we'd be able to come back.
And it was an educated bad decision.
Yes.
Yeah.
And what makes it worse is that morning we woke up in Wiseman. We had been camping under this little shelter. It had rained in the night and it was a very crisp and cool morning, but
it was a wonderful morning because our friends, Ryan and Laurel and their little kid Matthew, showed up. We had met them along the Dalton Highway as we had made our way up to Prudhoe Bay.
We met them at the Dalton sign. We saw them in Prudhoe and skipping back and forth on the way up, and then again on the way back down. And we had coffee talk.
Yes, we did.
It was nice.
Yeah, we had a lovely breakfast with them.
So here's inside, huh?
They showed off their off-grid little crazy vehicle thing.
Sink.
You can take your sink cover and cover your muddy fender. That way you have some workspace. And then the little
Nice.
stove.
Hey, buddy.
Home away from home.
Pantry.
Your rear storage. Water fill up. And then you got your furnace and then your on-demand water heater.
It was so cool.
Yeah.
This swivels out and turns into a shower room. So you can take your backcountry showers with unlimited hot water. 31 gallons of water, so plenty of water for staying off the grid for a while.
That is cool.
I don't
really
think
nice.
the KTM could pull it, though.
This is true.
I love that little trailer. It seems really light, and I mean, I prefer
We have
our
two
mode
wheels.
of
They had
transportation.
Yeah.
Yes, I like being two-wheeled, and you can kind of fit into little places and skip ahead of all the traffic. And it has great advantages. I absolutely love
But we
it.
have no shower, we have no sink, we have no
Yeah,
extra storage.
it's
but
very true. So if we ever did upgrade, that might be, you know, the direction that we'd go in. But it was also just really great to hang out with them.
So we're just sitting around and they're eating their breakfast and we're eating ours and we're having coffee and we're discussing what we're up to next. There's a million little raspberries over here.
A million raspberries.
And I stated that the first thing we needed was to get gas. And as I'm telling my little trajectory story, he says, you know, well, I got 4 gallons of gas on my Jeep that you can have if you want it. And I said, nah, we're good. We're like 15 miles away. I put in my MSR last tank. And again, we got up there on the same amount of gas that I should be able to get the cold foot again.
He had an extra container of gasoline, an extra 4 gallons. It was easily accessible, but it would have been difficult to pour it all in. We were just like, no, we're 15 miles away. Like, we're gonna be just fine. We've made it there. We're gonna make it back.
So they take off, they shrug their shoulders and take off, and we'll see them down the line. And
Yes.
Marissa and I are still packing up the tent and all the goodness.
Goodbye, Wiseman, and the whole northern Alaskan region. It's been fun.
And we rev the engine and we go and we, you know, wave goodbye to Wiseman and all of its inhabitants.
Yes.
And almost immediately we see a bull moose in the middle of the road.
So cool. We'd never seen a bull moose before. We'd seen some other moose, but they never had the antlers.
That was a moose. It was so cool. He is gone now into the forest, but he had big antlers, which is the first time we've ever seen that. Big bull moose. Really tall, yeah.
So we see Rocky, right? And or the Bowinkle, I don't even know.
Oh, I think Bullwinkle is the moose.
Bowinkle's definitely the moose. So we see Bowinkle. He sees us. We're appreciating him for his majestic beauty, and like he like a cloak ship in space. As soon as he walks into the foliage, there's predators out just and like you can't see
complete
him.
camouflage.
Insane.
It took less than a second of him walking through the trees to completely lose him.
It was nuts. And so we're
Yeah.
pulled over. I was trying to take my camera out, but Marissa and I are chit-chatting on the intercoms on our cardos. And a guy on a Harley pulls up to us, you know, and he's like, hey, you guys all right? You know? And I was like, no, we just saw a moose, you know, and it was really cool. And he's like, I thought you ran out of gas. People always run out of gas. And I was like, no, because
Nope,
I got
we're
gas.
good.
And this is, no, dude, I got gas, brother. We just saw a moose. It was really exciting.
It was cool.
That was awesome! And so he takes off, and so we follow suit behind him. And so now we're like 5 miles away from Coldfoot, and the bike goes, and choose in the comments below who impersonated a bike dying better, or C, you both did it very poorly.
Those are your only options.
Those are your A, B, or C. But so the bike dies.
We just ran out of gas. We have nothing.
And I know what it is. She knows what it is, and you
Yeah.
know what it is. And I know I'm an idiot. Like I had every opportunity to get gas, free gas. He was like, I don't even charge you,
And
I was
it's
like,
expensive up
and
there.
it's expensive. But I was like, nah, you know.
Before, when we had run out of gas on our way up, we had our extra gallon of gas. But this time, we were really screwed because we had already used our
it.
extra gallon.
And I put all my MSR stove
Yes.
stuff in, but it was the slimy, sticky, nasty, goopy poop stuff that we were riding back up from Prudhoe.
Oh, you're talking about the road conditions?
Yeah, not actual slimy poop.
Oh, no.
We encountered very little slimy poop. There was just 5 miles worth of gas, more of inclines of fuel efficiency. I started the bike one more time. I mean, I got an extra, 50 yards out of it, and then it said dead.
That's it, folks.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, that was a lot of poor decisions all in a row.
And we had used every single drop of gasoline that we had on us. So this was, this was it.
Dumb. And this is the first time we've ever ran out of gas on the side of a road without having more gas. We've broken down in Namibia, we've broken down in Ecuador, we've broken down in, Peru. Like, there's been bad moments.
Yeah.
But this is the first time, especially, it just hurts when it's like, hey man, here's your free golden ticket. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, I don't like free golden tickets. And then it's like, oh, wish I had a free golden ticket.
Here's the thing. We thought, okay, no big deal. We're 5 miles away. That's a little too far to, push the bike there
That's
or
not
hike
gonna
there.
happen.
But we were thinking, well, we'll just wait for someone to ride
Yeah.
by.
So we have run out of gas, and we are, according to Google, I actually get service here, which is nice. We are 7 minutes away by driving, but it's 5.1 miles. So a little far to push the bike. At least it's not raining at this moment, but everyone we know is ahead of us.
Well, they asked us, they said, do you want more gas? I said, no, we got to where we were, so we should be able to get back. But no. And
Nope, we should have taken them up on the offer.
then- yeah.
Dum-dums.
We waited and waited and waited. And then I started thinking, you know what? I realized that not that many people would be coming at that time down the highway.
But we finally see this truck come by, and I got my gas tank already. I'm doing the tambourine dance. So it was I'm in trouble.
And I'm like, hey,
Yay.
We waved that guy down. He seriously just drove off.
Like, he doesn't even wave at us. He kind of slows down, looks at us, and just keeps going. And I'm like, who the heck does that?
Right?
What a jerk!
He just waved at us. I mean, that guy's going the wrong way. But he might have thought that we were just waving emphatically to say hello.
Be good humans. Don't be a bad human. That was insane. I couldn't believe that happened.
I mean, we could have been eaten by bears at any moment.
Well, and I don't think that I'm like, entitled to anything. Yeah, it's the nice neighborly thing to do.
Right. And also, we were kind of in the middle of nowhere. I mean, the town of Wiseman had 11 people, so that's just going to show that, and there's only 2 towns. There's Wiseman and Coldfoot between Prudhoe Bay and Fairbanks. So, yeah, it's pretty remote out there. And usually in that situation, people lend a helping hand.
First guy passed us, heartbroken, sad about humanity. I know there's a lot of you on the other side of this lens that surely would have stopped. I know one of you would have drove friggin' 18,000 miles to come get us. Pete West, who saved us too many times.
It wasn't 18,000 miles.
It was 17 and a half.
It was a lot of miles.
17 and a half. So we just sat there waiting, sad about humanity and its inhabitants.
But then,
so another car rolls up and passes us, and again, I kind of swear, and I'm like, what is wrong with people?
Hey, no, they stopped.
And then it finally pulled over after they passed us, and it was the dudes that we saw at the Dead Horse sign.
Our kind friends that we met way up on Prudhoe Bay are helping us out. They've also ridden the entire Pan American Highway down to Ushuaia, drove, I should say, in a vehicle. They wrote a book about it called The Longest Drive, and they're saving us.
that was so cool, Already we met these people, they were super awesome, and then they became our rescuers.
Yes.
Yay! The irony is that we are in one of the most oil-rich areas of North America, and there's this huge pipeline that we ride along that's taking a vast amount of petrol from the north along this road down to the south. But of course it's not refined, so we can't use any of it. Ironic.
He drives me to Coldfoot. I get gas. I see the motorcyclists there. And I get out with my little red gas container, and he's like, "Are you joking, dude?" And I was like, "I wasn't out of gas when you asked me. Like, it was 2 miles up the road when you should have asked." He was like, "I can't believe it." But Dave gave me a ride back to Marissa, who's patiently waiting.
So as I was waiting back by the motorcycle, the time goes so much slower when you're the person left behind.
This is very
And
true.
you're just standing there, looking around at the trees, hoping nothing comes out of the forest, and just like la-di-da. I kept looking up at the sky, thinking, please don't rain, please don't rain.
I did come back.
Yes, I was very happy to see you when you came back.
Yay.
We had to get rid of my wife.
Yes, we left her behind.
It seems to be a reoccurring theme to leave your wife behind.
And I got a signed copy of his book.
Hey, that's
Bonus.
awesome.
Yeah.
Tim is back with gas. Yay!
I am pretty much always gassy, but I have the necessary fuel to keep us moving. Cause I'm the gas man.
It's actually quite cold and windy here, so surprise, surprise, in the middle of Alaska. But we've had such good weather lately, it is surprising. So I'm glad that Tim has returned with gas and I don't have to stand here anymore, and we'll be on the road.
Even though we had run out of gas only about 5 miles out of town, it took us like over an hour to get going on the trajectory that we were going on again. The other thing...
Uh-oh, there's more, but wait, there's more.
The other thing was that the clouds were getting darker
This is
and
true.
heavier and thicker. And we knew that we had had some wonderful weather for the past few days. I mean, we'd had some of the best weather Prudhoe Bay had seen in the whole year. And the weather wasn't looking so good. We were running out of our good weather luck.
This is true.
And so we weren't too upset about it, but we knew that this
Rain.
Dalton Highway was not going to be easy to navigate if it starts to rain really badly. But that will all be in our next episode. So thank you so much for watching this one. I hope you liked it. If you did, please give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button below. Ding, ding. And we'll be seeing you next time.
Stay safe, everybody.
Bye.
Peace. Peace.
Do you want to do it again or what?
Just stop waving.
I was midway.
What do you mean midway? Running out of gigabytes here with that wave.